There are some important lessons that I wish I knew when I started investing in 2010 that I think are going to help you, especially if you've just started or if you're in the middle of your journey to investing and building wealth. So I'm going to go over those lessons in this video, and we're going to start with the first lesson, and that's there are so many different accounts to invest in. Try not to get overwhelmed. For example, you've got your 401k that you usually get through your employer or your 403b, and there's a lot of money that you can put into a 401k. Between you and your employer in 2024, the contribution limit is $69,000 or $76,500 with catch-up contributions. So if you're at a certain age, you can contribute an extra additional amount of money that will basically supposed to help you catch up to save for retirement. Now, $23,000 of what you invest in your 401k, your 403b is going to be considered pre-tax. So you'll actually have that money deducted when you file taxes. So for me, a 401k is one of the best accounts that I can invest in, especially right now in my 20s and 30s, to get that ball rolling on building wealth for the future. Another account is the Roth IRA, one of my favorite accounts, actually arrangements. The A stands for arrangement to invest in. The Roth IRA contribution limit for 2024 is $7,000. And for those 50 and up, you actually get to contribute $8,000. The Roth IRA is like one of the superpower accounts that you can have to build wealth with because you're contributing after tax dollars. That means the money that you've already paid tax that goes into your bank, you can take that money, put it in a Roth IRA. The money's going to be invested, right? First, you got to put the money in, and then you've actually got to go select the investments that you want with the money that's in that Roth IRA. In a little bit, I'll tell you the lessons of what investments that I've learned to invest in. But basically, you go in and choose your investments in your Roth IRA account at Vanguard or Charles Schwab or Fidelity or whatever brokerage firm that you want to use. And the beauty of that money being invested is the growth is going to be tax-free. So when you reach the age 59 and a half, when you're able to withdraw that money without penalty, the earnings I'm specifically speaking to, you're going to be able to get that money tax-free because you've already paid taxes on the front end. The money's actually going to be able to be invested and grow tax-free as well. That's the beauty of the Roth IRA. And that's why you see limits of the Roth IRA not as much as the 401k, because we know that the government is going to want to make sure that they get a little piece of the pie when you're investing and building wealth. But the Roth IRA is pretty cool because you are able to invest up to $7,000, $8,000, and those limits are continuing to increase year after year. So, definitely look into a Roth IRA. And even if you cannot get a Roth IRA, well, I'll pin a video into the description. Also, you should see it up on the screen about how to invest in a Roth IRA and how to get a Roth IRA even if you don't qualify. If you are above certain income restrictions, there's something called the backdoor Roth IRA that I talk about in a video that I'll make sure to link in the description. And it should also show up at the top of this video somewhere right here for you to go watch after you get through the rest of this video. Now, another account that I really like is the HSA, the health savings account. The HSA is a great account for those of you who have a high deductible health plan, an HDHP. Basically, because you have a high deductible health plan, the government allows you to have a separate account, basically, that you're going to be able to put money in and invest. Currently, the HSA contributions for 2024 are $4,150 for self-only coverage and $8,300 for family coverage. Now, that's nothing to sneeze at. That's pretty good that if you can do that over 20, 30 years, that's an account that you're going to be able to build to be able to pay for medical bills, to pay for contact lenses, to pay for certain medicine, prescription, that you have that you're like wondering, oh, how am I going to cover these things? And there's so many different applications when it comes to your health and well-being that you can actually use your health savings account. And if you're interested in learning more about that, let me know in the comments section below so I can go ahead and start planning to make that video for you guys. And I believe for those of you who are 55 and older, you actually get an additional $1,000 that you're able to contribute. That's basically considered that catch-up contribution that we saw in the Roth IRA. And the last thing, but probably one of the most important things I'll say about the health savings account is that the money that you contribute, yes, is going in tax-free, and it's also going to grow when you invest it tax-free. And when you take the money out for medical expenses, you actually don't have to worry about paying any taxes. And I believe also Social Security is covered too. Like when you contribute, you're not having to worry about Social Security tax. So there's a lot of benefits that you're able to get with a health savings account that a lot of people sleep on. And if you were to go and pay out of pocket for a certain expense, well, you can always reimburse yourself with whatever you have in your health savings account to basically pay yourself back. So you're able to watch that money grow. And instead of just taking out what you contributed, you're able to take out the earnings and pay yourself back. Now, that's a pretty cool hack with the health savings account that my wife and I are trying to do with us, our families. With 4 kids, all kinds of medical expenses are always popping up. So that's something that, you just want to think about in the back of your mind, like, hey, can I pay this out of pocket? And then keep the receipts, because that's a big thing. Try to find a system where you're able to keep the receipts in your Google Drive and your Apple files or whatever the case is that you use to store receipts or store documents, and keep those available in the future for when you are interested to reimburse yourself the money that you paid for the past medical expense that you paid out of pocket. And one of the last lessons when it comes to these different buckets and accounts that you can invest in is you still have your taxable account, where you basically have no limits of what you can contribute. And it's a great opportunity for you to build wealth into an account where you can withdraw money without having to worry about penalties and all the things, the restrictions that come with a 401k, a Roth IRA, and an HSA. I like a taxable account as like that fourth pillar of being able to invest. Basically, you have your 401k, your 403b, a Roth IRA, an HSA for your medical expenses in that part of your life. And then you have your taxable account that you can also fund and build, that you're able to tap into whenever you need to and not have to worry about, paying any penalties. The only thing you would need to be very concerned with, obviously, is taxes, because these are taxable accounts. Any growth, any earnings are subject to tax. So this is where you may want to start talking to a professional, and just keep an accountant on hand that you can talk to and just consult with whenever you're ready to start pulling money out of those accounts for anything that you may need, a vacation or an emergency or whatever it is. The next lesson is around what to invest in. I got caught up in trying to trade stocks and do this day trading, which what I ended up realizing is not for me. I am a big fan of investing in low-cost broad-based index funds and ETFs. For those more inclined to take risks, yeah, you can go ahead and dive into the world of trading stocks, trading currencies. If that's your case, I would just caution, because that is a game that can leave you broke and has some similarities, I will admit, to gambling, because you are basically doing this day trading. And if you're not smart at it, if you haven't been working on it, if you haven't been trained properly, there's a reason why everyone is not Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors of all time. I will say this though, if I was someone who just wanted to invest in single stocks or do some kind of cryptocurrencies or whatever investments that are considered a little more risky than, let's say, an index fund that tracks the S&P 500, I would probably consider taking 20% of my investment portfolio, or maybe even lower than that, 10 or 5%, and putting that money towards those riskier investments, where if I do mess up, or if I do have a situation where those investments don't do well, I still have the lion's share that's investing in index funds and ETFs like the S&P 500 or the US total market, or a total international index fund or ETF that has proven throughout history to do well over the long term. I really don't think it should ever be that complicated when it comes to investing, especially for the majority of us. Yes, you have those hedge funds, you have people who are day trading, and that's great for them. But for me personally, I couldn't keep up with what's his name, the roaring kitty person with GameStop, because have you seen how it's going up and down, up and down, up and down? That would just frustrate me. And as a father of 4, as a husband, as a person with a 9-to-5 who is constantly busy, index funds and ETFs that just make it so much easier for me to do my passive investing. Yeah, there's a little bit of active involvement for me, just checking my investments, but I've set it all. I've set it up with my company to be able to invest. My Roth IRA, sometimes I have to go in and make sure that I do that backdoor Roth conversion, or my taxable accounts. Whenever I have a little bit of money, I go and buy some index funds and ETFs. But that's it. Really, I don't have to worry about it every single day. All of those actions I probably take once or twice every couple months. Not that much is involved for me to do this kind of investing with index funds and ETFs. So part of that lesson I want to reiterate is I don't like day trading. I'm not that person who's going to be busy looking at my computer, looking at my phone, buying and selling throughout the day, having to worry about the markets throughout each and every single day. Being a buy and hold long-term investor who's going to stay with it 20 to 30 years, I'm telling you, if you do that, if you stay with it 20 to 30 years, I've been in the market for 15 years, almost 15 years now. The biggest lesson that I've learned when it comes to this debate between the buy and hold strategy versus day trading is to just stay with it for the long term. Buy and hold is going to give you that opportunity to just relax, sit back, not be swayed to react to certain market conditions. And in 20 to 30 years, in 40 years, you look at your account and you'll be happy that you stayed with that buy and hold strategy. And in 20 to 30 to 40 years, you're going to look at your account and you're going to be happy that you stayed with that strategy of buy and hold and not getting too emotionally invested. Because yes, there is an emotional component when it comes to investing, and buy and hold just kind of gives you a little bit of comfort knowing that yes, you're expecting the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows of investing to happen, and you're not going to react certain ways by selling during the dips of the market and buying at the very peaks of the market. You want to be very careful with that, and that's how a lot of people lose money and end up having a negative perspective of investing and using great accounts like the 401k and the Roth IRA. Now, this lesson I think is something that all of us are just going to have to learn, and that's to ignore the media. The news has a mission, and that's to keep you from achieving your goals. The doomsday headlines and posts that are all out there that are there to make you click and make you watch their videos and post and read their posts. You've got to learn to ignore that. You've got to learn to filter through what's not helpful, what's not adding value to your investment portfolio, to your emotional stability, your investment emotional stability. And I would even say that YouTubers and social media influencers, I would bucket them in this too. We've seen so many challenges and sometimes scams of these different financial products out there that get promoted and pushed by YouTubers, that get pushed by people on Instagram and X, Twitter. And what ends up happening is people with followings sometimes do not take the responsibility of doing the due diligence to research companies, to be honest and take care of the community that they're cultivating. And I would say when you're watching these television programs or you're watching influencers on social media, just take what they say with a grain of salt. I'll be honest, everything that has made me successful financially with a 7-figure net worth has been information that I have read in books. Yes, I listen to podcasts. Yes, I watch some YouTubers here and there, but everything comes back to the foundation of that financial education that I built through reading books. And I will list a few books in the description that has helped me and my wife and our family get on that path to financial freedom. And it's just all that I want to say is be careful with who you listen to, what you watch out there when it comes to your money. Now, I'm a big fan of everyone achieving financial independence, and I think there are 7 important pillars that you should get to know. The video on the screen is going to go into it deeper, and I want you to go check it out right now. I'll see you over there. Take care. Peace.